Hello, everything is wrong. Everything is wrong on the screen. I didn't realise that was there. Don't worry about it. That's not what that is. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that's vaguely better. Also, this light isn't fixed, so
I see.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Everybody vamp quick.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Screenshot it. Get on Twitter.
Nobody's here. It's fine.
Tag at Josh Baker Mendoza.
It's fine. Nobody needs to worry. Nobody needs to worry.
In like a horrible red, calming blue. You don't get anything in between.
No. I like chaos.
Prepare your memes.
Welcome to Maximum Chaos.
Yes, as always,
as ever.
Yes. Well, yes. Welcome everybody. Guess who's back again? It is us.
Not Slim Shady. Oh.
Yes, something like that. We have put out a thing you may have seen a week ago. It was a thing to do with Dungeons & Dragons. And as you remember, everything went perfectly and there's nothing to talk about today. So, yeah, should we call that?
Yeah, we were really good.
No
mistakes.
I felt that, we really found our groove and, we ironed out all the kinks. Yeah, so. Maybe not. Well, I mean, where do we start? Where the hell do we start with that adventure?
Where do we go now? Where do we... Sorry.
Seriously, because...
I mean, it's pretty obvious where it needs to start, isn't it?
I think
the most stupid start ever with the bloody conkers.
So. As Ben said to me just before we started streaming, he went, "Those fucking conkers."
Oh god, conker fight. Does your character still have these conkers?
Oh, I don't know. No, because it dropped on the floor and then like sliced in half or partially.
Cleaved in twain.
One of them, anyway.
In twain.
The
other one, I believe, was badly thrown.
Yeah, that's so true. As you said, Josh, I conquered that conker.
Hey.
It didn't stand a chance. Let's be honest.
But
it didn't stand a chance.
Dubious. Jury's out, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
The next thing to do is actually try and hit a moving target.
Mm.
Do I really need to? I mean, I've shown my abilities now. Surely I don't need to do anything more than that.
I was just about to spoil something from the one that hasn't been released.
Oh.
That sounds about right.
See, people, as you can tell, my players enjoyed the following session. It's definitely picks up in speed, I think, and the next one. So
yeah, that next one is really interesting one. I think, but,
not spoiler.
No, definitely
no spoiler.
But I will say, I mean, what a ridiculous start. What I was expecting was 2 to 3 minutes of us mucking around, followed by, okay, let's go and do something. And then, 25 minutes of mucking around in the woods with conkers? And,
yeah, but,
I mean, was it that long?
I mean,
it was a while.
We did also learn about how to do our first short break, which was quite interesting, because not something I've ever done before. So, yeah, that was cool to, learn how that worked. And obviously that's going to be a mechanic going forward and something that we'll need fairly often, especially with how maybe not brilliant we are at fighting at the moment, but we'll so yeah, we're going to be definitely utilizing that a lot more. But I thought an interesting start, most certainly.
It happened. It was on.
It did happen, and it was on. I finally managed to fix the computer so I can actually see what is going on. And just hello to Baker Me, Baker Ma, and Janet Makes. Good to see you in the chat. If you do have any questions about the nuttiness, then of course we will pick those up. About what's that?
Any questions about the conkers?
Is that what I said?
No, you said about the
nuts.
nuttiness.
And I'm just like, I mean...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm so tired. I didn't even pick up on the joke.
It's okay. It was a bad one. It wasn't worth it.
Just like the entire episode. It was a bad one.
It was not. It wasn't truly nuts.
Oh, there we go. I got it. I got it this time.
Oh my god. I mean, this is giving me flashbacks to editing what you will see next week, which is the next Lasers and Feelings, which turned into like half an hour pun off.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Love it. I can't wait for that.
I was sweating. After that. I was sweating after the last one, but after that Lasers and Feelings. Oh my god.
Did it feel like a real punishment editing it?
Hey.
Well, we finally managed to get ourselves away from the cave and away from the conkers. It took a while. We're still children at heart.
So you divided and conquered.
Still children by character.
Yeah, very true. That is true. You are definitely still technically a child.
Yes.
And then, of course, we went back to the camp.
Oh, everyone's frozen. Oh dear.
Seems to remember that was all he was ever going to give us.
Rob, you might want to redo that because you froze mid-sentence and it was just me going,
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I was saying that we got back to the camp, and then we went and saw Darius, and he gave us 5 gold, and we definitely weren't expecting any more than that. So let's not think about that for another moment. It's 5 gold and nothing else. I seem to remember. I don't make mistakes, as you know. So
you're a shitty guard.
I do genuinely love that. I also love the fact that my character will always come back and say, "Sorry, you've got a lisp" or something like that. Just correct it for you. I'm never going to get to a point where I'm like, "Oh, he's taking the piss." All right.
Of course not.
Matthew Breeze doesn't understand sarcasm.
But we then met up with a new character, somebody who we have seen before, but in Lasers and Feelings, a Squire, we should say, Mr. Madge, or Return of the Madge, as I like to say.
But limited to specifically that phrase of words so as not as to trigger copyright.
I've just seen the title that you put, Josh. Choose Squires and a big fucking spider.
That's pretty good.
Brilliant.
It basically covers everything as well.
Maybe it should just be
Squires and a big fucking spider. Okay, nice.
Yeah, that was my planes, trains, and automobiles for. It's taken me a while to reset everything that I would have done beforehand, but I've done it now live on air for everyone to watch.
It's nice for people to see. The stuff we do behind the scenes.
It's what people want. It's what people are here for. Specifically, rearranging graphics on screen. That's it. It's what the people want. And everyone's frozen again, so I'm just going to carry on talking. How's everyone doing today?
There we go. I can
hear you now.
Yep.
It's going really well today.
Why is it doing that? That's strange.
I've no idea. I've no idea.
It was brains, though.
Oh, weird. But I mean, I was going to say that the thing of Madge coming back was a really interesting thing because so a bit of sort of background on how that came about and a few other things that you'll probably see as we go through the episodes a little more is that we decided to flesh out our characters a little more after episode 1. So each of us individually had a little chat with David sort of behind the scenes on our own. And it was really, really fun because we basically learned things about our characters that we didn't know about before, which includes the fact that out of nowhere, I just popped up and had a Squire, which I had no idea about. So, of course, he comes in and everyone's like, hold on, why have you been trying to make everyone else your Squire? But,
Yeah. And I guess I'll chime in here with like reasons for something like this to happen. After the initial first episode, doing like a because we originally treated it like a one shot before we decided if we wanted to continue with more episodes, and this is really to kind of flesh out backstories. So when it comes to those RP moments, those role playing moments with the guys, they have something to work with it. So like, say if someone wants to do an insight check on the other, and say if they do a really good check, and the person has to diverge. Sorry, help me. Thank you. To some information, they have something to give rather than say someone rolled a nat 20. You're like, I got none, bro. Like it's kind of like,
he ain't real.
It's a non-starter, so it's like really good to just, even if it's a little bit, and then over time, it's just something for you to work with, and then for you to play with, and it can expand as you wish. Yeah, and you definitely, of course, brought some chaos to Madge's life.
Oh yeah.
I would argue I brought liberation to Madge's life. Thank you very much. I liberated him.
Well, he's lost out on my offer.
Our
offer.
I offered him
he was in Dragon's Den
gainful employment as opposed to a life of servitude.
You don't need to pay him. He was, there's never a need. Never a need. He's a squire. Why are you going to pay him?
Hey, squires deserve to be paid too.
Squire for a shitty guard. That's an order.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we come on to, I suppose the first point of the three that you put up there, Josh, which is for shoes. I quite like this, and I like the fact that it comes back around from episode 1. It was mentioned the first part of episode 1, and we were like, "Oh, we'll have to come back to that and make that into a thing." And the fact that it came back again, I've really enjoyed.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just me carrying on my thing of like, let me have one bit and I'll run with it. Ironic considering it was a lack of shoes that I was running with, but
That's a good point.
Yeah. But
you got 2 though.
Eventually.
God, yeah.
Eventually I got 2.
Yeah. Your feet in the forest must be full of splinters, man.
No, he's got tough feet. I think he's got like hobbit feet at that stage. He's been walking around with those shoes for years.
Mm-hmm. So let's just track what happened with the shoes. So first of all, you were given one shoe, then I bought the other shoe and kept it, and then Ben ended up getting those ones, and he gave you his.
Yes.
So you had.
I know. I just took them.
Yeah.
And put them on for myself, and then gave over my. Apparently, I used to wear clogs. Although the most comfortable thing for him.
Aren't you supposed to be stealthy?
You can be stealthy in clogs. Only
when he needs to, he takes the clog off and throws it as a distraction in the opposite direction. So, like, guards go,
It's a whole new thing for ball bearings, isn't it?
That's quote of the day, if ever I've heard one. You can be stealthy in clogs.
Oh, that's my new band.
You just sit in the middle of the evening, winter night,
You've just got to rob places that have like a grandfather clock, and then just time it like.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Well, there you go. The stealthy clogs. That's I'm buying their first album. I'll tell you that much.
Great. It's going to be a great album. What's their first song name? This is what
you choose, you lose.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Let's make the music.
I suppose after we sorted out your shoes, technically, you got some clogs. Technically.
Some good quality ones.
Oh yeah. Top quality clogs.
Top quality, maybe not.
I mean,
attire.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you had shoes. What more do you want?
Better shoes.
We returned to Darius, didn't we? And we were given a new objective of mapping the hills around the camp. And then all of a sudden, one of the party went missing, didn't they, Josh?
You saw nothing.
We didn't know.
No, you saw nothing.
No. And mischief was afoot, literally. Yeah, I can do.
By Ronan Keating. Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, what made you think? Well, first of all, going back and getting proper shoes, and I love that moment of, trying to sell the woman on they come from like a special place, even though she had probably seen them on Leamington's feet a few minutes earlier.
Yeah, she probably heard them.
Yeah.
Heard you coming.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it seemed obvious to me. Why not make a bit of extra cash on the side? If she didn't have incredibly high insight, I would have worked great, because I rolled a 17 on that, and I was like, oh, I might have this. Then no, rolled a 19. Rude, very rude. But yeah, so I was just like,
you knows her shoes, man.
Yeah, clearly.
I think I'm going to have to go back and buy them, see how much they're going for. I want them back.
I wanted to have the exact same shtick of like, these are worth 1,000 gold.
And then I'm going to offer to buy
noble
one.
shoes.
And then, of course, Josh, you decided to cause complete chaos. No
liberation.
I think it was cruel and unnecessary to Nightbreeze, who's a lovely man.
Really?
No.
Viva
la revolution.
Leamington.
I mean, a question for David, because obviously you had to play Madge. How did you deal with that?
I just went into it because I was just thinking, okay, Madge, in this universe anyway, is he's a squire. He's probably a bit nervous. It's a very new position. And he's a nice guy. He's like, oh yeah, I'll help you out. Yeah, absolutely, you help me out. All this sort of thing. And then it's kind of like all three of these kind of things, like kind of like, don't go with him and come with me. Blah, blah, blah. I'll pay you this, but I'll pay you nothing. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like all this kind of going on. He's like, like he doesn't quite know what to do himself. He's a bit kind of in an awkward position.
Could say that.
So that kind of just lent into that awkwardness.
Of course, we learned about one of Josh's new magic abilities, or I suppose technically you had it already.
No, that's just one of my spells. One of my.
What is it? What is it called?
Disguise self. A classic, a D&D classic, disguise self.
Yes.
And you became the person that you've always wanted to be. Let's be honest.
Well, someone that can't kill something.
A really ineffective city guard.
Say it properly.
Yes, I have always wanted to be overwhelmingly mediocre.
Well, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
He might be better than you. He's the squire.
No.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
Genuinely, I loved your voice of like going between your own voice and then some really weird like groany but kind of like breaking voice as well.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I mean,
it's just like, what would that situation look like? Because I don't, as far as I'm aware, disguise self doesn't change the voice. So you would have to fake Nightbreeze's voice. And then he's a 12-year-old. He can't go that deep. So I thought, well, funny if it's just like he's going through like immediate puberty. He's grown some balls.
Yeah.
But I mean, I suppose it technically worked. Although the slap, I mean,
Oh, that was brilliant.
I think that's from something. I had that in my head because that is like, is that like an Austin Powers thing on like a Pink Panther thing, like Kato, that kind of thing? I can't remember. It's something like that. That I was like, yeah, tell him to like do something ridiculous like that. I'm pretty sure that was just a thing that was from a thing.
Yeah. Control yourself.
But also just because very funny.
Do you know what? I was just at the anticipation of getting back because I was like, we obviously had that moment where we were just confirming everything with Darius again, and you sort of popped back into the picture, and I was like, come on, I want to get to the next bit. See what happens.
I think that's the joy of it, though, is that you can make moments like that happen where it's so ridiculous, and it's based on nothing. I mean, it's based on a spell that's just in the book. It's a very common spell, and then just some role playing, and you can create a moment that's just kind of silly and you want to watch.
I hope I get that spell.
I think you can, as a rogue. Right?
If you go at level 3, if you go Arcane Trickster as your like pathway, then you're very likely to get Disguise Self. Yeah.
That's dangerous for Leamington.
Arcane Trickster.
Chaos.
Arcane Trickster.
I think Disguise Self only makes you go once. It makes you go one size higher than you are. Like so,
it's like a foot higher. Yeah. Wait, are you going to use it to disguise
like
yourself as a taller version of yourself?
It'll be a small human or a dwarf for you.
No, I think. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to impersonate
an elf or something. It would be pretty.
No,
that would be taking the piss a bit. That's taking the piss. But you can go like one size higher, or
you can go 1 foot taller or smaller.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
There's a bit that makes me laugh, Ben, with Leamington, where I can't remember what it is, but Darius just begins to piss him off.
Oh, yeah.
And it sort of comes to you and you go, I'm 7 foot equivalent, so don't mess with me. I just think that's so funny.
It's like this 6 foot guy leaving over you, like, what the fuck are you saying to me?
Is this when he picks me up as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. How did he pick up a 7 foot person?
You started calling him all different names. I love it. I love that so much.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Run out of names now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all the D names have kind of gone.
Just leave it as Daniel.
Yeah, as I say, we pop back to Madge to get the armor, get the sword and the shield, and then the worst possible thing that could possibly happened. All right, just for my character, but a slap from a squire. I mean, who thought? And damage, by the way.
Yeah, that I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah.
Even I was like, hey,
wow.
What?
It's not just a slap. That is a proper he went for it.
The handprint was left around the outside.
Broken orbital or something. Just.
Yeah, lucky it was nothing more than a slap.
He's got strong hands.
I had decided though, if he did actually do the slap, I thought I'm gonna let him go because I thought I was gonna make you two squabble over him. I was really looking forward to that, and then you came up with the dastardly plan of having him be the squire for both of you. Although it made me laugh because actually, Ben, what you said is we'll squire for you. Obviously, just mixing up your words.
I was confused, Madge. Madge was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, he's older than the boy, so I mean, the boy could squire for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was
Leamington.
For 1 second, you were all trying to make him your squire, and then you've kind of just flipped the tables on him, and he's like, I don't know what anything is anymore. Yeah, he was just generally just like, who are these people?
I mean, aren't we all thinking that?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Did I make a mistake somewhere in my life?
Yes, Madge.
I didn't see my life and everything, but this Night Breeze is. I don't think the Stark's so good. Like, Night Breeze, more like shit breeze.
I do like that from that point onwards, you were really like miffed, Knackers.
Yeah, I thought there's got to be repercussions. Something's got to happen here.
Wow. You didn't use your vision or whatever it's called.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we headed off, didn't we, into the woods, and we got lost thanks to the child.
I mean,
we did put him forward for it.
I mean, I was nominated. The child is an idiot. You knew this beforehand. You knew this beforehand, and you were like, lead the way. And he did, to nowhere.
Again.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, yeah, we got completely lost. I love that. But yeah, I just that moment of when you asked me to, because I was role playing it as I'm going to be really annoyed for a while, and then you asked me to check, obviously when the spider was sort of creeping out of the hole, and you asked me to check, and I was just like, would I? I mean, I wouldn't, would I? I mean, I'd just be an arse for a while.
You've lost your Squire, and you've been slapped and taken damage.
Exactly.
Oh, you trying to make me your Squire now?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was like, no, why would I help? I'm going to be very childish and
200 years older than you. Shut up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that just felt like the right thing to do at the time. Maybe it wasn't under the circumstances. Now looking back,
at that moment, he knew.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we come on to the point of what happened. So I mean, I mean, I thought the fight started pretty well, to be honest, because it was, we were all sort of working together.
You guys got greedy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I even tried something new. I kicked some dust into its eyes as well, instead of like going in for a swing of the sword. And I was thinking, I mean, when you said it would like bring it down to what was it, disadvantage, I was like, oh, cool. Well, that basically the next hit isn't going to hit. And then you rolled some ridiculous thing and managed to get, I think it was Leamington. I was like, I think you got like a 16 and a 19 or something. I managed to hit Leamington with the damn spider. I was like, whoa, okay, maybe we shouldn't mess around anymore. Yeah.
Disadvantage is good, but doesn't mean like the rolls won't be. Like,
still just luck, isn't it?
Sometimes, I've been in games where people roll a 19 and the 20. It's like, well, still got a 19. And that hits most things.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's just with the dice roll.
I think, Josh, you said about you were trying to kind of kite it a bit, weren't you? You were sort of like going around the edges of the map and trying to like get some distance so that you could keep firing off spells with it, which was kind of working as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the one like accidental good thing I have in my spell set is that Ray of Frost is slows things down, so you can just kind of keep it at arm's length and like just hit it at range and then just back. So you can like with a single enemy like that, you can very effectively just keep it at range, and the strategy worked mostly.
It is a really useful spell, being able to, because you're able to obviously move 30 foot, but that the ice damage it slows it by 10 foot, or is it slow it?
Yeah, it slows it by 10.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like it creates a big old pool of ice on the ground, and it has to it's rough terrain then, so it takes distance out of it.
It's like a spider on like roller.
Just slings everywhere.
Yeah, you're just lucky it wasn't like an ice spider.
Yeah, that would be.
They would be like, oh, yay,
nice.
ice skate towards you.
And then I'd have to use my other spells.
And then, of course, Leamington, you were, doing what you do best, hiding behind the child, And...
He's a very good shield.
Thanks.
I mean, if you're 7-foot equivalent, what's he?
He doesn't have an equivalent.
Oh, okay.
He's not worthy.
Oh.
You should You should do all of our gnome equivalents at some point.
That's true.
2 foot. You're 1 foot.
Show a diagram to the colony. So this is my point of referencing.
Oh dear.
This is these are the measurements we will be using from now on to measure.
Do you know one thing?
The Leamington scale of measurement.
Yeah, scale measured.
Another gnome.
That's true. Oh, maybe that's a future thing for you.
You haven't done what, sorry? You haven't looked for what?
For another gnome.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool, yeah.
Well, there's got to be other, smaller folk out there, because there's, dwarves and...
Not taller.
Maybe there's goblins somewhere, you never know.
Maybe that's the joke. Maybe the joke is that they're all taller.
That would be funny. Turns out I'm the shortest gnome. Oh dear, I'd have to get high heels then, wouldn't I?
But your equivalent size is taller.
Is that what you're getting with your shoes? It's like platforms.
Yeah.
The clogs were really thick.
You lost an inch when you... The biggest heels in the world.
Well, I mean, we were having so much fun with the fight, weren't we? And then things took a turn for the worse. So, I mean, first of all of us forgot what it meant if you roll a 1 in combat, Josh.
Well,
even though you had told us.
Well, see, there's a really interesting thing that we realised afterwards, I think in the next session, in that shouldn't have happened either. Because you can't... So my character is a sorcerer, and a wild magic sorcerer, which means that the magic that he has comes from natural abilities, but also it means that things can go wrong on a natural 1, on a spell. Ray of Frost, however, is a cantrip. Ooh, so that shouldn't have happened. It doesn't do anything.
No.
So we fucked that up. But
yeah, we did.
Hey,
yeah,
it was fun.
It made it
hilarious.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Nearly killed us, but it was fun.
Hey.
I mean, it was only our second episode. I mean, we're still learning. We're still, yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, like Ben said, it made it fun, didn't it? I mean, come on, it was what. The scariest moment was that David actually made us aware of a couple of the different types of spells that are in there that could happen, and two of them aren't good. Really aren't good.
You can cause some real fuckery.
Oh my god! Oh damn!
The best one is casting Fireball, which is a 3rd level spell on your current position.
Actually, there's a few in there.
On top of you, yeah.
There's a few in there which would be very, very interesting. Like literally instantly character ending. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lightning one as well where you cast a lightning bolt that must hit 4 targets. They can be enemies, you can choose them, but if you run out of enemy combatants, it's gonna hit someone. I had someone that happened in one of my players' games, and the prisoners who were trying to save Wild Magic Surge killed them all. All the prisoners that were meant to save.
Do you know the thing that will happen is that I will get hit, because I just know that's how you lot think, because you'll be like, right,
I'll
kill
be
him
hiding
first.
behind you. So.
You got the most armor. You're basically a lightning conductor.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it would make sense, to be honest. Yeah,
he's using wild magic when you don't roll a 1. Is it more effective, or are there better spells?
No.
Would you? Apart from being, adding some fun to it, why would you pick wild magic?
Well, it's just a.
You can do stuff like Toxic Chaos, which is like you can roll with advantage, but again, then it's up to me to I could decide if I make you roll
It was
dice
in my
regardless of a one or not.
In my
I always roll it.
in my case, it was more just a character thing because I had some concept of who the character was before even episode 1. Originally, I was going to be a wizard, but if you look up wizards, the idea is that they've learnt magic somewhere and they've been to school or something, and that didn't make sense. So I was like, oh, a sorcerer with wild magic actually makes sense for him as a character, more than him being a kind of studious, learned person. Yeah, he's L'Oreal. Maybe he's born with it. Definitely born with it.
So you get a natural because there's a certain ancestry. In this case, the child doesn't know. It could easily be. Could it be a draconic bloodline? Is it something to do with nature that's giving him these powers? We don't know yet.
Yeah. So that's a good point.
Little bit of mystery.
I like that, actually. I think that's really nice that we all, as characters, have bits of mystery sort of hanging around. And those, I think, will get answered as we go along, or at least partially. But I just love the fact that there's things about us that, can be elaborated on later on. There's no need to say, right, okay, this is the character, this is exactly what you're getting.
We're so early on in the process.
Exactly.
Yeah. Remington's pretty troubled.
Yeah. But that's all we know, and I really like that because that can manifest in so many different ways and so many like story beats. That could mean anything. In the same way that what happened to in the Shitty Guard, that could mean anything. Anything could happen.
I tried to find out from Madge. I tried.
I wouldn't tell Madge.
I tried.
I mean, I was worried for a moment, David, because me and David hadn't talked about that. So I was like, don't make anything up. I haven't made it up myself yet. Or I do know what it is, but I was just like, I haven't really gone into it enough.
You have an exact you have an exact idea of what it is. You just didn't tell anyone. That's just stick with your guns. Don't tell anyone you don't know.
No. I do know. Like I say, I know what it is, but I haven't fleshed it out yet. If that makes sense. Which I think is okay.
If your character feels not to diverge, help.
Divulge.
Thank you. All these, as a Scotsman, it's all these fucking consonants. What the fuck? Really do vowels here. Anyways, sorry, Scottish rant over. Is that
was that a surge of wild Scottish?
Oh yeah. Wild Scottish surge.
You rolled a 1.
A haggis appears. Or I turn into a haggis because funny, like one of the wild magic things is you can turn into a sheep or you can turn into a plant pot.
Oh, that's amazing!
Oh, let's make that.
Yeah, that's so hilarious.
I do want wild magic again.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
So, what were we talking about?
No idea.
Divulging.
Yeah, like information. Like if your character feels like they don't want to, that's when these interesting things of other characters want to do insight. You don't have a choice. Right. To really play to the character thing rather than going, yeah, here's all the information and you got nothing left. Unless your character is very honest and forthcoming, then you're just like, yeah, this kind of happened, shit happened, and stuff like that. But if you don't feel that's natural for your character, then it's don't do it.
I don't think that's true of any of our characters, really. We're all like hidden pasts or don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Breeze is probably the most open.
Yeah, apart from like this one defining thing about him, which is kind of it's interesting.
I feel the characters from the get-go they don't feel like there's a need to right now. There doesn't feel like a need to. You just kind of experiencing. It's kind of like an exciting energy, and you decided, hey, you wanna. So we're not going out by ourselves. Like you wanna, like it's kind of one of those very kind of like random gatherings of people are just like, should we go do a thing? It's like, yeah, cool, fuck it. Like, it's not really a case of like We've known each other a whole 5 minutes. Let's tell everything about ourselves.
Yeah.
You first.
Well, it's also the case that none of us seem to care about what each other is like.
No.
Well, maybe the thing is like, I don't feel invested in you emotionally or personally to feel like I should have these conversations. Why? I don't really want to know your shit. I've got my shit to deal with. Like that could be a whole thing you play with as well, depending.
Remington doesn't care. He cares about himself.
Right. Exactly. Then, why would you ask then? You know what I mean? And it could be things that happen in game later down the line, and it kind of comes out, and then you could decide if you give a shit about it or not. Then, like it's depending what happens. So
more of this in episode 4.
Yeah.
Episode 3, you mean?
Is it 3 or 4?
Yeah, that'd be
3.
Dude, guys.
3. Okay.
Dude, there's a lot more to
getting
go.
ahead of myself there.
Yeah.
No, I recorded 4 by myself. So.
He played his own campaign.
I suppose that brings us on to the you were invisible child, weren't you? And the interesting thing that came out of that, I think, was how you tried to scare Leamington. I
wasn't trying to scare. I think he was scared and was trying to work out what the hell was going on.
Not surprising he was scared.
Yeah.
It's just like in the middle of the fight, he suddenly all his limbs disappear, and he's like, ah!
The funny thing is because this is not. It wasn't like your standard invisibility. This one with the surge meant you couldn't hear, see, or like smell, sense him. Like you just felt something go. Ding, yeah.
But it just felt like a perfect moment to start ragging on the child, because it was like, we know that he's there, like, if we're metagaming, but our characters are just like, what the hell? Okay, he must have left, kind of thing. So it was a perfect moment for us to start saying not very nice things. And I thought that was really funny. I mean, I think straight away we basically said, "Oh, wasn't somebody with us?" No, all right, let's just leave.
Is this while we were dying?
Well, no, before that. But,
no, I think
before
you had control of.
Yeah.
You just about had control at that stage.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right. And then
that.
I had the interesting idea, I thought, at the time anyway, to try and actually take over the spider, because I thought, do you know what? It might be helpful to have something with us for whatever's coming up next, because this spider seems pretty, on it. So, we could use him later on.
Yeah, bro.
And so much so, you'll notice this because I edited this together. There's a moment in the music where it changes from like dark and sort of like, warring, whatever, to I go to really light-hearted music. I'm like, yeah, I did a thing kind of thing. And it's like really like twinkly and nice and everything. And then I just fade out slowly until the point where Josh goes, and I shit myself and I do a Ray of Frost. And then I put in, I think it's Hall of the Night King straight in there, because I was like, right, okay, we've got to hit this hard. Yeah.
We do love that track, don't we?
Yeah. It's the metal version, isn't it? Which is a very cool track, which is Alexander something or another. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, it's really cool that. But I thought,
thanks, Alexander. Thank you.
Yeah. I thought I've got to hit it with something hard. Because for a moment, I was like, hey, okay, well, we can carry on the adventure and we've got something brilliant. And then it went a little wrong.
Well, I was honestly thinking that it's just kind of like mathematics in my head. I was thinking, it's probably fairly close to dying, that spider. Wouldn't it be funny if I came back and turned it into a block of ice underneath Nightbreeze?
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think it's justified because the child has basically spent 5 minutes absolutely bricking it and going, I don't understand, or like a minute, it was a minute, isn't it? A minute absolutely bricking it, and then doesn't know what's going on. Leamington is like freaking out, which makes the child freak out more. And then all of a sudden he reappears, and then the spider is right there. What are you gonna do? It's like, oh shit, we're still in the fight. Fucking. But
Yeah, I mean, I just it just makes me laugh so much that as you said, David, you said you had it under control. I love that moment.
control
we
is
had ended
boring.
combat, and then Josh reinitiates combat. Like, I thought it was over. And, it was like
I didn't know.
It was like a SpongeBob thing. Like 30 seconds later.
Yeah.
Child does. Hey, the child has not paid any attention to the spider as soon as he goes invisible. He's chasing Leamington, going, "Am I real? Did I die?" Child doesn't know.
Yeah.
Child has his back to the spider.
And then,
Then he doesn't,
and then, of course, you almost did actually die.
Yeah.
which was pretty funny. I was worried I'd killed at least 2 of us for a minute, but
Oh yeah.
we saved it.
How close were we, David, to dying? This is what we need to know.
Pretty close.
Pretty close. I was just like, how do I salvage this? Because I'm like, I don't want the players to die in episode 2. I was like, oh my lord, of course these guys would kill themselves in the second episode. I'm like,
I was genuinely thinking the same as you as well. I was like, oh my god, what can I do? Because I've used up all my healing ability in the first episode and not realised that I don't get it back. After
You will
the short
notice,
rest.
please, everyone watch back how I was going. Let's have a long rest and get our abilities back because I knew what would happen.
You did say this, and we didn't listen.
That was me metagaming and going, let's really just rest a bit.
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm out of spells here.
I mean,
shitty.
we did. We definitely learnt a lesson, didn't we? But I mean, the thing is, when you went down, Josh, I was like, okay, that's annoying, but it's 1 out of 3, we'll be fine. And then the next turn, Ben, you go down as well, and I was like, holy Jesus, we're in a lot of trouble here.
So it's just you.
I was worried because I think my first thing of trying to bring the spider back under control again, I failed as well. I was like, I was really worried.
actually, I know he was trying to chuck you off, wasn't he?
That's all right.
And he failed, and then you had then it was like, that's when you had a couple of good rolls in animal handling.
Yep.
And that's what brought it back under control.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how strong was that spider, or were we just really crap?
I think we just
You
rolled
won the
bad.
honest answer or the?
Give us the funny answer. We're crap.
No, I think it was a mix of like, it was definitely a mix of, like Josh mentioned, resources in terms of having your spell cast out of spells, and also, just taking the general rest, and then just RPing. But that was the chaos, and that was great. Like, to be honest, that was hilarious because I did not expect it to go that way. I was like, Oh, Josh. Okay. Interesting character choice. I'm down with it though.
Maximum chaos.
Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah.
Wild magic.
Well, I mean, the spider did come back under control again. And then I realised, oh my god, I can do anything I want. And I did half think about, is there enough time for me to go off and have an adventure? But then I thought, actually, I think it would be more fun to get you guys back, knowing that, like, because I think I even asked the question, what can I do to bring you guys back? And I knew there was nothing more. I thought it would be just even funnier to get you back and, like, deal with it back in camp where everybody's looking at me going, what the bloody hell have you done, kind of thing.
The other point is, well, even though you got it under control, they still had to do death saves, which they managed to do.
True.
You could have done that, and one of them could have died. Still. However, they did well on their saves, so.
I think you were very kind to us, David, because we were lost, weren't we? So
yeah, if you failed your death stage, you'd be dead. You're problem.
Yeah.
No, but Aka's managed to get back to the camp, like, pretty.
Yeah, that's
no,
true.
you had already done your death saves by that point, I believe. So you were fine. You both stabilized. I remember it was yourself, Josh, stabilized first, and then Leamington. Leamington's first roll was a failure, so I was like, oh. But then you brought it back, so that was fine. by the time you got to camp and everything.
Luckily, roll very well on death saves because it was. I think there's only 1 fail and 6 successes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you guys did really well. Actually, I was worried for a moment, Ben, when you rolled because I think, like you said, David, the first one was failure.
Natural ones. Natural ones are 2 death saves. Yeah. If you get a natural 20, you're stable and you get 1 hit point back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like critical success versus
big trouble.
But I mean, you both survived thanks to me.
Dragged us back.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would be, interesting to bring you back on the spider. I don't really know why I thought that. I just thought, do you know what? I can at least maybe say, I did it because the spider was there and it was easy, instead of being like, I had to drag them both back, I didn't really take into account the fact that the spider is still a wild creature. And would still attack everything else.
It's not like a horse or something.
I hadn't really thought that.
It obeys you. Doesn't mean it's going to go for everybody else. It is a spider after all. You put it into submission. Doesn't mean it wasn't going to eat other people. So.
But I'm glad you did it though, because it was one of the funniest parts.
It was a great plan, to be fair.
We made you wrong. Was it going to attack Darius or was it going to attack Madge?
Yeah. But the funny thing about that is that I thought, just shoo it away. And that's, of course, when I rolled the critical 1. So that you will notice if you watch it in YouTube or if you watched a couple of weeks ago when we put out the trailer for it, that is the bit that I used as the trailer. And I was really stuck between either that or there's a moment at the start of the episode where we go back to Darius and we go to give him the map. And then we realise we have no idea where the map is. And there's just a moment where all 3 of us look at each other and Josh and go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so good. But I decided to go with this critical 1 only because there wasn't any swearing in it. I don't think it matters that much. But I just thought, just in case, anybody else sees it from outside our little group, I thought it'd be quite, sort of like, makes it a little more... wholesome. That's not even the word, is it? But
I think we swear quite a bit.
We do. Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. But what a moment! What a moment! It was a gift. I mean, you could see me like I am actually doing this because I'm like, oh my god, I might have just done something really bad, but it turned out to be such a gift. The fact this one, I love the fact that you guys were throwing out who it should be as well. You're both going, who is it? Is it Darius? Is it Madge? Like you're like, I love that. And you made me roll for it as well, David.
Yeah. And it was it was like a 1 to 9. It was Madge. A 10 to 20 was Darius, and you rolled for Madge.
I love it. I love it. It just felt perfect because it was, he'd had all this story around him for the entire, for a lot of the episode, and he just felt so right. It's the fact that he comes out and he's like, "I've made my decision," and then he gets immediately mauled.
And then everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And all the characters start stabbing him with forks and stuff like that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. As you say, Josh, what a sort of a brilliant climax to an episode. I mean, I thought then, I was like, right, as the character, would I take the blame? Would I say, yeah, all right, sorry guys? And I just thought, well, the 2 on the back of the spider, they can't stick up for themselves.
And even though I'm a paladin, I'm just
Yeah.
I don't feel like it today.
Yeah. So
it's the most dishonourable paladin we've ever seen, I think.
I decided to tell a Porky. Although, to be honest, I do think he believes a lot of his lies. So in some ways, maybe it's not so bad. But it was a bit naughty that. But I just thought it'd be so much funnier because the fact that the townspeople are coming back going, but they're unconscious and poisoned and stuff like that. I'm like, no, it was definitely them.
Yeah, you chose the path of, instead of going, oh, I'm sorry about what happened at the end, but look at this cool thing I did by tamed a spider.
Yeah.
To like rescue some injured people. You went, no, it was the dead people who
It was all
the spider. Like 90% of what happened would have been really cool to people, but nope. Dishonor first.
Yeah. Well, that it felt right. At the
Dishonor
time,
among breeze.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt right at the time, but I quite enjoyed that. And then, of course, I did my best with the map, but that didn't work at all, did it? I don't think we got anything in the end, did we?
No, I can see why.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rubbish idea, but
understandable.
Or you just look at the map, look at you, look at the map, and just go.
And then I thought, okay, I thought, well, I've got one more chance here just before, we come to an end to just play around with these guys a bit. And I thought, what's the one thing that's happened in this episode that I can maybe try and undo and annoy everyone? And I thought, I'm going for them shoes. So I had to, Josh. And I was...
You didn't know that it was me?
Yeah.
You didn't know it was the child that made match slap you?
That is the truth, to be honest. And in some ways, I kind of knew that I couldn't do that, but I knew that you were trying to steal the Squire from me. And technically,
I had the highest bid.
Yeah, exactly.
I got away with it.
But I had to do something. I just thought, I've got to take those shoes. So I didn't even get to give them back to the woman in the end. She ran off. But
you wouldn't have known that they came from there, really, would you?
No,
that's true.
Really could have got them from anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that's
did
basically
you?
Where we
by
end.
the way, did you cut out part of the giving it back to the woman sequence? Because I seem to remember something else that happened there. I can understand why you would cut it, if it is how I remember it.
I put it together quite a while ago. So
did you not go into the tent as well?
No, you're thinking of another episode.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
Don't worry, we'll come to that.
Okay.
That's the one.
It blurs into one.
Yeah.
Into
One.
the next episode, the little teaser.
Yeah, there you
A little
go.
teaser into the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, talking of teasers for the next episode, we kind of come to the end of that episode.
Oh.
It kind of leaves. Yeah,
there is one thing. Well, I want to ask of David, because I've just thinking about it. It had not occurred to me until this point, but I happen to know that my entire basically the wild magic thing. I love the wild magic thing. Unfortunately, we realised it shouldn't apply. Can we just homebrew it so that it just applies any time I roll a natural one on anything?
The thing is, when you use with your level 2, you get Tides of Chaos anyway that allows you to roll with advantage, and then I get to choose if you roll or not. And guess what? My rule is you always roll.
Oh, great! I'll do that then.
Yeah. Every time
I'll just have to wait until level 2.
If you are, yeah. So it's like I can't. Yeah, that'll take a while, man.
Not for ages. Yeah, no.
So, but yeah, when you go level 2, Tides of Chaos will allow you to do that. So that'll be fun.
Okay.
I just feel like it's a way, because I do know that none of my spells. Basically, it's not possible for me with my set of spells to cause any wild magic because I don't have rolling spells. I only have cantrips. So
it will get more frequent as you level up because you'll have more spells to work with.
But I'm just like at the early stages. It kind of feels to me like for the character, the early stages while he's learning is where it should be the most awful. So it makes no sense that it never happens.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I tell you what. There was a rule I watched in one of these games. One of the kind of like casted shows that you see on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're called Dimension 20. He had a homebrew in his thing, his wild magic sorcerer he has in his game, that even if you pass it, the DC goes up by 1. So say
Oh,
like
nice.
you rolled, so it's obviously it's a 1 usually.
Yeah.
But if you succeed, it goes up to 1 or 2.
Ooh, I like
Or
that.
3 and then up to 3.
This sounds
And then-
perfect.
Yeah.
But I
can
want to do it on
incorporate
cantrips
that.
as well, because that'd be fun. Because otherwise
On
it doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me note that in. So that's going to be fun.
More chaos.
Wild magic.
More chaos.
Cantrips.
You heard it here
Look forward
first.
to us all
folks.
dying. Yeah.
Should we just
Yeah.
leave him? Don't leave him to it.
He's gonna get dangerous. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah. I am looking forward to it. I think as
Cantrips
we
included. Nice.
begin to level up as well, you're going to see, some more craziness. I can see that happening. But
Well,
yes,
The next episode is pretty crazy.
Mm.
well, which one are you talking
The
about?
D&D one.
D&D.
Oh, D&D. Oh, yeah. My God. Just a bit, wasn't it?
And it's filmed live as well.
Yeah.
When we're in person,
Yes,
so.
that's right. I have actually finished the cut of it. Nice and
Whey.
early. There's still some bits to be done, but it is all cut together. Yeah, it was so nice to actually be together, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's so nice.
Yeah. But I mean, before we even get there, we got a Lasers and Feelings coming up next week.
We do.
We
do.
We do.
I don't know what that was right there.
We were deliberating earlier about titles, so I don't think we really have one ready.
I think.
Unless-
Well, I think it should be.
Mhm. ...
The Deep Space Search for Johnson. Everyone
so
froze.
many dots that everybody froze.
I dotted everyone into freezing. Yes, I think everyone at home heard it. But it's my wild magic for you. Very powerful. Very powerful. Yes, The Deep Space Search for Johnson.
Oh no.
I'm okay with that. I like it.
Could also have been Deep Space Diving for Johnson, which I've debated.
Oh no.
What can we tell you about this episode?
Operation Deep Space Johnson.
Don't know, maybe just Deep Space Johnson, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no. Wow.
And so, I mean, this is an awful way to introduce it, but
Yeah.
joining us in the next episode is Kyle.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect then. It's like even more reason I'd like to do it because
Carl!
he's employing the Lights and Feelings for that one.
Yeah. I really enjoyed having Kyle in. Do you know what? I was sort of wondered, we'd done a couple of episodes, how is he going to slot in with his character? Because, obviously I'd seen all of his stuff beforehand. And we even ended up having a chat for a few minutes beforehand, just so, he kind of had an idea of how his character would come into it. And man, he picked it up so well, and it was so much fun. I mean, you guys, all of you would have seen it because of the online that we did, which actually came after this episode.
Yeah, that's true.
The one that we did for
yeah.
the anniversary that actually came after this. So it shows you how far ahead we are at the moment. He jumped on board, didn't he? And he was in for the craziness. So it was lovely. It was lovely. But yeah, what else can we give away? I mean, there's a man named Johnson. We can say that much.
There will be Johnson.
There will. I will say that I think this is the furthest Josh has taken me to this point.
That will be the sting. That will be like the trailer. Is just It's at you and the empty chair.
Do you know what I think it should be? There was a moment in this episode where I had to leave because
I don't remember this.
Oh yeah.
You will.
Okay.
I slammed my headset onto the table and just left. So much so that I actually disconnected the mic, which I don't know if will be in the edit or not. But that was quite fun because of the thing that Josh did. And to be honest with you, they all were on it. They really were. And there was a lot of having to string things together on the fly.
And then the 30-minute pun off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so much that happened, wasn't there?
March gets that pun.
It's actually a really good episode. Like,
yeah, so good. The thing is, I mean, I said to these guys that I sort of had a few different ideas, and I thought, okay, why don't we put a couple of things together? We'll stick this here and we'll put that there, and we'll turn it into see how it goes as we go along. And then all of a sudden, other things happened, so I had to put those in as well, Josh. And and then
say love you.
I sort of found a way to bring it all together at the end. Although, to be honest with you, we all did, sort of like collectively, I think, found a way to bring it all together at the end and had a really fun and interesting end to it. There's a particular NPC in this. I know I said this about the last Lasers and Feelings with Battenborough, but there's an NPC in this that I goddamn love. He's not Battenborough, but he's so close to being that good. I love how good he was because he was never meant to be anything. Just like Battenborough. There was never. I had no stats. I had no
what you're talking about. Yeah.
But all of a sudden, he becomes center stage, and I love it.
I love when players do that with NPCs. Like, you can have some NPCs which are like, oh, it'd be really cool if we like get them interacting with these guys, and then they ask. Sometimes it's like a NPC that doesn't even exist in the world yet, and it's like, okay, and then this character becomes such a big pinnacle part of the story.
Yeah. It was.
I love that happens.
Do you know what it was? It was this episode coming up and episode 4, which we filmed only a couple of weeks ago, when I began to realise that even with that amount of chaos, I was now in sync with you guys. So the first episode, even though I really enjoyed it, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to run another one of them? And then the second one happened. I was like, okay, that was tough, but I'm starting to get it. And then this third and fourth one, actually, to be honest with you, the fourth one in particular, I was like, I got this now. I know, I see the chaos. Yeah.
Really?
I see this chaos. Yeah.
The chaos was high on the fourth one.
Are you sure you were with it for this one?
Yeah.
I feel like we broke you. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean,
the
chaos factor for both, to be honest, was incredibly high. But I felt like instead of kind of fighting against it, I wanted to see it happen and then see how we could steer it. We could all steer it back in the right direction, which I think is really fun.
Welcome to me.
I think, I think that makes half the episode, to be honest.
Make mess, clean up. That's my thing. Yeah. Oh, they've all frozen again. Oh, hello, it's just me.
Again, we froze again. Froze again. Froze again.
But yeah, I was just going to say, I thought that really makes the episode. That makes this episode, because Josh kind of goes on a slightly different journey to everyone else. Let's put it that way. And I think that is very interesting. It's a very interesting journey because it put me in a position that I had to do something that I wasn't ready for, as well.
Like all the other episodes where I've made you do something you weren't ready for.
Yeah. I can't think. Is there anything else we can say without giving away too much of the story?
Not really.
There's just some great bits in the next one. Can't say them though.
But I think in particular, Carl's edition just adds a little bit of extra spice as well. I think there's a really good link up between him and one other character that they sort of become like a detective duo for a while, and I think that's really fun. I love that. But yeah,
and there's also 2 pilots.
So you're 2.
Which may cause problems. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you say that technically. There are 3.
So you're 3 pilots.
So you're 3 pilots.
Well, does Julian count as 3 pilots?
I guess so, yeah.
His ego. His monocle.
Julian, his ego's worth like several pilots, I feel.
Yeah.
There's a wing.
Sir Julian has a near the end of the Lays and Feelings coming up. There has a thing that he keeps trying to do, and I just love.
That is
I love it.
one
It's
of the
so
funniest
good.
things.
Yeah.
Josh, I am particularly proud of how you end the episode. It's so good.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
It is.
That's brilliant.
Honestly, the end of the episode
cool.
is just so good.
Yeah.
I
forgot about that. Yeah. Brilliant.
But yeah, I don't want to say any more because I don't want to spoil it. Just to say this one coming up, we had a lot of fun with it, and I hate Josh.
That's fair.
George of Chaos!
I put you through a lot. I appreciate your adaptability. But it made great content, so
Oh, so good.
Worth it. Oh, they're all frozen again. It's just me. Hi. How's everyone doing?
Oh, he froze like a freaking again, freaking flack.
I've no idea what's going on with Discord today.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I'll just say I think you guys are going to absolutely love this one.
Yes.
I think we should end there before we freeze again.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna freeze.
Anybody joined me on that?
Should we end on a freeze frame?
Like one of those 80s ones where we all like jump in the air and punch.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
But
Everybody.
I've got to press the button, so I have to do it with this hand.
So you can't.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Ready, everyone. 3, 2, 1.